90% of you are walking through those giant sliding warehouse doors and throwing your hard-earned cash straight into an industrial shredder. You think because it's in a bulk box, it's a deal. You think because it has a big neon price tag, you're beating inflation. You are being played. The retail industry banks on the warehouse trance. They want you distracted by the massive TVs and the smell of the food court, so you load up your oversized cart with things you don't actually need, while walking right past the items that will literally slash your grocery bill in half. But we are putting a stop to that right now. This is Kaka, and you're watching Costco, where we don't just shop, we dominate the warehouse. In my 15 years working behind the scenes in retail supply chains and breaking down consumer pricing, I've seen exactly how the big box game is rigged. I know the exact margins, the hidden supplier swaps, and the private label secrets that stores desperately want to keep quiet. I know how tight budgets are right now. You just want to feed your family high-quality food without taking out a second mortgage. That is exactly why I've ripped apart the entire Costco inventory to find the 12 absolute essentials you cannot afford to leave on the shelf. These aren't just good deals. These are the non-negotiables. Here's the secret. It all comes down to knowing who actually makes the private label stuff and what's inside the package. Take olive oil, for example. If you buy olive oil at a regular grocery store, you are getting robbed blind. The Kirkland Signature Organic Extra Virgin Olive Oil is not just cheap oil in a big plastic jug. It is legitimately one of the highest quality, consistently pure olive oils on the U.S. market. The olive oil industry is notorious for cutting their product with cheap, inflammatory seed oils. But this specific bottle? It passes the strict chemical testing for pure extra virgin status year after year. You are paying a fraction of the cost for restaurateur quality. But it gets worse if you wander into the cheese aisle without a plan. If you buy pre-shredded Parmesan in a plastic tub from your local supermarket, stop immediately. It's coated in cellulose, which is literally wood pulp, to keep it from clumping. You need to buy the whole block of Kirkland's Signature Parmigiano Reggiano. Look at the rind. You will see those little pin dots spelling out Parmigiano Reggiano. That means it is imported directly from Italy, aged to perfection, and heavily regulated. The price per pound here is so aggressively low compared to your local grocer that buying this one block basically pays for your entire membership. Buy a cheap rotary grater, shred it yourself, and watch how it transforms your weeknight pasta. Now, you might be asking, what about quick meals for the kids? I hear you. Between school, sports, and your job, nobody has time to cook a gourmet dinner from scratch every single night. Enter the freezer section's absolute best-kept secret. The Kirkland Signature lightly breaded chicken breast chunks. Let's call it what it is. This is a direct, undeniable clone of a very famous fast food chicken nugget. The breading is exactly the right texture. The meat is solid white breast meat, and when you throw them in the air fryer, they come out dangerously perfect. Skip the drive-through line. Keep a bag of this in your freezer, and you've got a premium meal in 12 minutes for pennies on the dollar. I know this sounds crazy, but stick with me. We are just scratching the surface of what this warehouse is hiding. If you're finding this breakdown helpful and want to keep outsmarting the grocery industry, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to keep handing you the exact blueprints to save your family serious money. Because the next essential on our list is going to completely change how you handle baking and breakfasts, and I guarantee you've been walking right past it for years. You've been pouring artificially flavored high-fructose corn syrup over your family's morning waffles for years because the real stuff at the local grocery store costs as much as printer ink. That stops today. The Kirkland Signature Organic Pure Maple Syrup is a massive jug of 100% grade A amber goodness. If you look at the supply chain, real maple syrup is heavily controlled, meaning the quality is highly standardized. But the markup at a regular supermarket is absolutely astronomical. Costco buys this liquid gold by the tanker load, bypassing the regional distributors entirely. You are getting pure, unadulterated, real maple syrup for a price that makes buying that fake, sticky corn syrup physically painful to even think about. But it doesn't stop there. You can't pull off a proper breakfast or serious baking without the right fat, and this is where most shoppers completely drop the ball. You probably just grab whatever generic stick of butter is on sale, right? Big mistake. Go straight to the dairy cooler and grab the Kirkland Signature grass-fed butter. Look for the bright green box. We are talking about butter sourced from New Zealand cows that spend their days eating actual grass. That diet gives this butter a rich, deep golden color and a massive boost in flavor. The butter fat percentage here rivals the expensive European brands that professional bakers swear by. At a specialty grocery store, this exact quality of butter is a luxury item locked behind a massive premium. Here, it's just another Tuesday. Your cookies will bake better, your eggs will taste richer, and you're paying standard commodity prices for a top-tier, world-class ingredient. Now, you might be asking, what goes perfectly with those eggs? Kirkland Signature Premium Thick Sliced Bacon. The retail meat industry loves to play optical illusions with bacon packaging. They fan it out behind a little plastic window to make it look like a mountain of meat. But when you check the actual weight, you're paying a fortune for mostly air and water. Costco gives you literal pounds of incredibly thick, perfectly hickory-smoked bacon. The fat-to-meat ratio is consistently excellent because their buyers hold their pork suppliers to an absurdly tight specification. You can freeze the extra packs, pull them out when you need them, and you will never, ever go back to that paper-thin, water-injected supermarket bacon. Here is where the math gets genuinely ridiculous. Look at your daily coffee habit. If you are buying a standard 12-ounce bag of beans at the grocery store every week, you are bleeding money. Grab the massive 2.5-pound bag of Kirkland Signature House Blend or Espresso Blend. Flip the bag over. Right there, printed directly on the label, it tells you exactly who roasted those beans. Starbucks. You are buying custom-roasted Starbucks whole bean coffee, sealed at the peak of freshness, for a fraction of what you'd pay walking into one of their cafes or buying their heavily branded bags at a standard retailer. It is the ultimate open secret of the warehouse, hiding right in plain sight. We are systematically replacing the most expensive, everyday items in your kitchen with vastly superior versions for way less money. But there is a specific, everyday pantry staple that parents buy every single week, and the mainstream grocery brands are legally allowed to pump it full of cheap filler oils and refined sugar. We need to fix your pantry right now, and the final batch of these warehouse essentials is going to show you exactly how to do it. You grab the jar with the friendly cartoon character on the front, thinking you're getting a healthy snack for your kids. Flip it around. You are buying hydrogenated vegetable oils, monodiglycerides, and pure refined sugar disguised as protein. It is essentially peanut-flavored frosting. Kirkland Signature Organic Peanut Butter destroys this entire model. Check the label. 2 ingredients: dry roasted organic peanuts and a pinch of sea salt. Period. The oil naturally separates because there isn't chemical sludge holding it together. You stir it once, keep it in the fridge, and you are giving your family actual, real food. And because it comes in a heavy-duty 2-pack, the price per ounce completely obliterates the chemical-laden junk at your local grocer. But it gets worse when you walk down the baking aisle. Have you looked at the price of pure vanilla extract lately? The major grocery chains have shrunk the bottles so small they look like eye drops, and they are still charging you premium double digits. Most shoppers get desperate and buy the fake imitation vanilla, which is literally flavored with synthetic chemicals, and in some cases, a byproduct of the wood pulp industry. grab the Kirkland Signature Pure Vanilla Extract. You are getting a massive 16-ounce bottle of the absolute real deal. High-quality vanilla beans extracted beautifully for a price that makes grocery store executives sick to their stomachs. Even if you only bake around the holidays, this one bottle is a mandatory, high-return investment. Now, you might be asking, how do I handle quick, healthy breakfasts without getting ripped off? Look straight at the massive tub of Kirkland's signature organic Greek yogurt. Regular grocery stores try to sell you tiny, single-serve plastic cups that are secretly loaded with more sugar than a candy bar. This giant tub is pure, strained, non-fat yogurt absolutely packed with protein. Mix in some of that pure maple syrup we talked about earlier, and you have a world-class, clean breakfast for literally pennies a bowl. Here is the reality. The retail industry doesn't just rob you on food. They drain your wallet on the boring stuff you literally throw in the trash. The Kirkland Signature Premium Paper Towels are the ultimate heavy-duty open secret. I've tracked the manufacturing on paper products for years. These rolls are shockingly thick, incredibly absorbent, and the price per square foot is an absolute joke compared to the famous lumberjack brand at the supermarket. You buy one bundle, stash it in your garage or basement, and you don't have to think about getting ripped off on paper towels for 6 months. Which brings us to the single greatest retail anomaly in modern history. The ultimate anchor of the entire warehouse. The massive 3-pound Kirkland Signature Rotisserie Chicken. This isn't just a good deal. It is a legendary loss leader. Costco intentionally loses tens of millions of dollars every single year, keeping this price strictly locked at $4.99. It defies all supply chain logic. They want you to smell it, walk all the way to the back of the store to get it, and hopefully buy a giant flat-screen TV on the way out. But you are smarter than that. You grab that heavy, perfectly seasoned bird. You use the meat for meal prep tacos, salads, and sandwiches, and then you boil the bones for homemade stock. You take their multi-million-dollar corporate loss and you put it directly back into your family's bank account. You now have the exact blueprint. 12 non-negotiable essentials that completely flip the script on retail inflation. Stop paying the grocery store tax. Stick to this list, ignore the flashy end caps, and watch your monthly budget completely transform.